guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's Jesus and today's topic is how to color your hair at home like a pro in quarantine. Just to give you a little heads up, the video is going to be a little lengthy because there's a lot of information I need to give you, and I think it's important to give you the right tools in order for you to make the right choices in picking the right hair color for you. So without further ado, let's get started on this and I'll see you in a minute. Alright guys, here are my two color choices for today. One of them is a box color. I got this at Walgreens and it is a Revlon ColorSilk. Got some good reviews online for covering gray. The color is number 60. I believe it's called Dark Ash Blonde. Probably a good choice if you are going to go the box route. Anyways. And then for the other side of the mannequin, we're going to color it with tube colors. So I went to Sally's Beauty Supply and I got these. So the reason I got two is because a lot of times I don't want just one color. I want to be able to mix it with something else to make it more my own color, specifically to me. So I ended up getting it's ColorCharm. Okay, one of them is 7N and the other one is 8A. So the 7N is a natural base color and then the 8A is a natural ash color. I didn't want all ash color on all over the hair, so I ended up putting a little bit of natural, which is has more brown background. Long story short, it's got all the colors in there that you need to cover gray. I got a developer, 20 volume developer, same brand. You always want to stick to the same brand. So whatever brand you buy, you've got to buy that developer because each developer is specifically formulated for that color. So just make sure that you get the same developer and the same color. For the ends, we're going to refresh our ends with a demi color. It's Demi-Permanent color and it's going to be 8N. It's going to be a little bit lighter than our original base formula because anytime you put color on the ends, generally it goes a little bit darker. And so you don't want to be darker in the ends and lighter at the roots. So always, whatever color choice you end up doing for refreshing your ends, always go a level lighter than your root formula. Again, I got the Demi-Permanent developer for it. Quick note on when you're doing the ends, you don't want to always pull, well, you definitely don't want to pull your permanent color all the way to the ends because what happens is the base color that you're putting on has ammonia. And ammonia is what swells up the hair. So it basically opens it up, it softens the gray, and it opens up the hair in order to accept the color inside. And then after that, it closes the cuticle and the color stays in there. So for the same reason, you don't want to do this on the ends because you don't want to do, the last thing you want to do on your ends is to open and close those cuticles because after 2 or 3 or 4 applications of color, your hair's going to start looking pretty dry and pretty brittle. So always want to do a Demi-Permanent color on the ends because all that does is coat the outside of the hair. It does go inside the hair, but not all the way. So because the color on your ends is previously treated with previously colored hair, that demi color is going to stick to it a lot better than actually putting permanent color on. So you'll get longer results and your hair will be in much better shape and it'll add more shine to it. All right, so now we're going into picking the color. So what we're going to do is we are going to stay within 1 to 2 levels of what your hair has previously been colored. So you're going to be comparing what your hair has been colored to what the color you're going to pick. So let's say you are a number 5 the lightest you're gonna go is a level 7, which is a medium blonde, okay? So that's gonna be the absolute lightest you wanna go, because then if you go any lighter than that, it's never going to be that color. It's always gonna have reddish or orange tone to it. So you definitely wanna stay away from that. So in this, and plus today's video is not about doing big changes. It's basically just to get you through until you can go see your stylist. So no big changes here today, guys. We're just covering up your roots so that you're happy and you're not seeing any of those pesky grays. And so my suggestion to you is mix a little bit of the color and do a strand test. So what I normally like to do is I like to go just above the ear, like this, and grab a section, not the hairline, but above that, on top of the ear, and grab, like, you know, a good sized piece like that. That way, if the hair is down like this, nobody can see that. Even if you pull it up, you won't be able to see that. So do that strand test and color. Put the color on that piece first and let it sit for about 15 to 20 minutes. Then rinse it out, you know, wash that piece only. And if you're happy with the result, this way you'll be sure that you're gonna like it. And if you have to adjust it, well then at that point, that's the time to adjust it. So it's easier to, you know, it's easier on you and, you know, less stressful to be able to just color this hair and like the result. And even if you don't like the result, well, now you have to tweak it, but at least you don't have all of the hair to correct, okay? So it's just gonna be this little piece. So that's just my thought on that. All right, so here are a few little things that you might need. So if you're choosing to do the box color, you pretty much have everything you need in this box. It comes already, I think, with gloves and the bottle. All you have to do is mix the color into the developer, which is the bottle, shake it up and put it on. My suggestion would be to put both products into a bowl and brush and to apply it with a brush. I think the application is cleaner and I think you can cover the gray a lot better with a bowl and brush than you can with the bottle, because what happens is people put way too much color on the scalp and they get all of the color into the hair that's been previously colored. So it's really easy to overlap when you're doing a bottle. Not unsuggested, but if that's something that you can't do at all with a bowl and brush, then go ahead and do the bottle. Just be very careful to not overlap into the previously colored hair, because then you're gonna create a band, and a band is something that's gonna look darker than what your natural color, than what you're gonna color it, and then what the other color is. So as long as you just keep it just on what grew out, you should be good to go. All right, so for those of you that are gonna go for the tube color, you're gonna need 4 clips, okay? Regardless of whether you're doing the box color or the tube colors, you should get 4 clips, because we're gonna separate the hair into 4 sections, because it's always easier to do in section by section. That keeps everything cleaner and neater, and the neater you are, the less likely you are to overlap. All right, you're gonna need a bowl and a brush, okay? If you don't want to buy one of these, you can get any bowl from the kitchen, like a ceramic bowl if you'd like, or some type of a plastic bowl, but you would need to get at least a brush. And you would need some gloves. Another quick tip is, if you are going darker, I suggest you get some Vaseline and a Q-tip. You could either dab it with your finger along the hairline, or you can get it with a Q-tip and just get on there. What you don't want to do is get the Vaseline onto the hair. You just want to put it on the skin. You don't want to go onto the hair, because if the Vaseline gets on the hair, that means that hair is not going to be colored. So just on the skin, just to avoid some big stain that, you know, from the color. So as long as you keep that in mind, you're good to go. Guys, make sure that you buy enough color. So if you're gonna go the box route, my suggestion would be to get at least 2 boxes. The last thing you want to do is be halfway through the color or halfway through the head and you run out of color. So always in doubt, buy a couple of boxes. It's gonna go a long way. Same thing goes with the color. So this particular color actually goes a long way because if you notice here, it says 1 to 2. So that means that whatever you use in color, you double up in developer. So let's say you use 1 ounce of color, you're gonna use 2 ounces of developer. So you're gonna get a lot more bang for your buck if you go this route. All right, guys, just to let you know, make sure that your hair is on the clean side. It doesn't have to be clean from that same day, but at least 1 day before should be clean. You don't want to have a bunch of product build up on the hair or a bunch of oils because then it's gonna make the color not take the same. So I'm not saying that it has to be squeaky clean, but at least 1 day, like the day before, would be good. It's just as good. But if it is dirty and you do want to color it right away, and you do wash it and you want to wash it before you color it, don't scrub the scalp really hard because it might make your scalp a little sensitive when you put the color. So just work on just cleaning the hair and be easy on the scalp. Just kind of go softly on the scalp when you're cleaning it. That way you won't get any color. It won't burn when you put the color on. Another thing is you always want to make sure it's all brushed and ready to go, so with no tangles. So I'm going to give you 2 different options. You could either do this option, which is going to be if you choose just to color your hairline. So let's say model here is parted on the side. So if you just want to do just the part and the hairline, you can do that too and leave everything else alone. So what I like to do is I like to go 2 inches on each side of the part, okay, and 2 inches from the hairline. So like this, just like that. You can go either like right up to the top of the ear or just in front of the ear. And then same thing all the way around. And then on the top you go about 1 inch or 2 down, and then about 1 inch or 2 on either side. So that way you're catching both sides, so you won't be able to see it. So once that color falls, you won't see anything else because you hardly ever see the inside of the hair. And then for the back, I like to take that same section around the corner and I like to bring it to the back, and I go just below. I like to go just below the crown, just like this. You can do like a little V if you like, and that would be fine. Because once that hair falls, you won't see any other color. The color underneath here, you won't see it or the roots. So that's one option. So 2 inches around, all around the hairline, and then the part. And then also if you have a lot of gray down here, same thing applies. So you would take probably not 2 inches, but I think at least a good inch from the hairline. So all the way around the hairline. That would be good. And then the other option is obviously to color all of your hair. So all of your regrowth, which is probably by now at least a good inch, if not 2 inches by now. All right, guys, here we are with the mannequin parted in 4. So I basically did a line down the middle and I went all the way to the back, okay? And then I separated those, and then I took a part from the top to the ear, and then the same thing here. So from ear to ear, and it creates four sections, okay? So this way it'll keep it nice and clean. And we're gonna do one side of the mannequin's head with the box color and the other side with the tubes of color. All right, so I kind of forgot that when I was mixing the color, that is actually 2 to 1. So that means I originally I had put 1.5 ounces of the 7 and 1 ounce of the 8. So that makes 2.5 ounces. So that means I had to do 5 ounces of developer, which is way more color than you ever need. So I basically, it's almost like a gel-like, and the ammonia will kind of hit you in the face a little bit, so try not to have it too close right when you push out the color from the tube, because you will smell that ammonia. So it's kind of like almost like a gel consistency. It definitely stays in place, so that's a good thing. I ended up doing a little bit more of the 7 than I did of the 8, only because I wanted it to be a little bit lighter than just a 7, but not as light as a number 8. So this is where you can play with colors and do a little bit of one or the other to custom formulate to your hair type. And then the other half of the head we're going to do with the box color. So that's pretty simple. It pretty much comes, this is the developer, this is the color, and all I'm going to do is pour it into a bowl, just like that. Make sure you get all that in there. And then I'm going to basically just unscrew the cap, and I am going to pour that developer in there. All right. And we're basically going to just mix it together until the two become one. And it looks like this one is a little bit more runny, but definitely doable to do bowl and brush. So, so see there, it is, see, you can see a little bit more liquid if you push it, but since we're going to be doing fine, thin sections, you should be good to go, okay? Alright guys, here we are. First we're going to do this side, okay, this whole one side, and then we're going to go jump on to the other. So I'm going to be doing first the tube color. So what you want to do is you want to grab your hair like this and grab it pretty much away from your face like that. And then you're just going to apply the color to the hairline there. And again, just go up to what grew out on the gray. Okay. Then kind of push this up like that. You can see it. And apply the color. What you're going to do is you're going to outline that whole section with color, like this. And then do the back. And do this top part here. Okay. So now that you have everything outlined with the color, you're going to start at this top corner here, right where the corner of the section you just did. So we are basically, okay, I'm going to push her down like that for you so you can see. We're basically going to take the small little triangle section there, the corner. We're going to take the corner, gravitate that up, and just slightly dab the color on there, on one side, and then on the opposite side. So we're going to apply it on both sides of that hair section. And so this is very important. You're going to grab hair probably no thicker than your brush. So it's got to match that. So The key to this is because you want to make sure and cover your gray, application is going to be really essential. So again, you want to take it and dab it on one side and then dab the color on the other side. So you're always, each section you're going to do color on both sides. Then you're going to grab another section and then go color and then color. Hi everyone, if you are enjoying today's video, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hope you enjoy the rest of the video. Thanks. Alright, we're doing now this side. And the same thing, we're going to outline everything. So you're going to go all the way around the whole section. And you're going to outline with the color. On this side. Because we are doing two different types of colors and we're doing half the head on one side and the other half is, this is why I'm doing the front first on this section and then the back. So, because we're doing two different colors. But normally you would do the whole front section first and then you would come to the back. So you would do this side and then come to this side of the front and do it. And then come to the back and start each section in the back. And that's how you would do that. And the goal is to, when you go, you're going to start at the corner again at the top, right there, okay? And you're going to take that section and color there, and then color the bottom part too. And you're just pulling the hair just slightly away from the back. So you're bringing everything up to that little corner. Again, the smaller your sections, the more color, the better coverage you'll have and on the gray. So just know that, you know, when you section out the hair in small sections, you're going to get a much better gray coverage than you are if you take really big sections. So that is the key to getting really good gray coverage. Alright. Keep in mind that it's a little bit trickier when you're doing the back of your head. So if you have any type of mirror at all at home that you can see the back of your head, it always makes it a little bit better. If not, you know, as long as you take little sections and go up and down like that consistently, you should be able to get it without looking. But a mirror does help, I'm not gonna lie. Alright, so now we're going to switch to the other color and do that same thing. We're going to outline the whole section again. thing. We're gonna start at the corner top and move our way back down. Always coloring both sides of the section. So now we are ready to refresh the ends on the side that we did the tube color. So I'm now mixing the Demi-Permanent color to put all over the rest of the ends. But before you do that, once you apply the root base everywhere, you're going to automatically put it for 30 minutes. I think the instructions for the box color says 25 minutes. But if you have stubborn gray, it says 30 minutes. I personally like 30 minutes. So once that's timing, start that timing as soon as you're done with the root color. Mix in your Demi-Permanent color. All right, once you have that mixed, we're ready to apply. Now guys, for a little bit of easier application, I like to slightly mist the ends of the hair with just a little bit of water. We're not soaking or anything. We're just creating a little mist. So when we put the Demi-Permanent color, it kind of glides a little bit more. And it doesn't need to go in already because this is already color treated hair. So it doesn't have to be as powerful going into the hair as the base color where you're covering the gray. So I just missed a little bit of those ends. Again, it's just a little bit to get a little bit of water on the edges there. Alright, same thing. I'm going to go from the top here, and then I'm basically going to just grab the section and just put it on there. So you want to work it in with your fingers like this, all the way to the ends, like that. Push that back, same thing here. Okay. Make sure you really work it in there. Make sure you get it into the hair like that. Make sure you get both sides. Make sure that both sides have color. finish the tube color side. So as you can see, everything's done. So that's been processing since 30 minutes was set right after the application on the roots. And we went straight away, as soon as we finished the roots, we went right in on the ends with a Demi-Permanent color. On the box color side, however, since it's permanent color, I never suggest putting any of it on the ends because it becomes damaging after a while of doing it over and over again. But if you do want to refresh the color a little bit with minimal damage, what I do suggest is try and find some take some sections like this, like let's say the side, and maybe do a few pieces. So like let's say this is the front corner of the ear. I would probably take that corner and run the color all the way through. Now this is only when you have 10 minutes left in the processing time. So when your stopwatch says 10 minutes left is when you start doing these little pieces. You don't have to be perfect, you just kind of apply it on really quick on there and let that go. And then maybe like at the back of it, you know, like again, apply some pieces like that. But you don't want to do all of the hair, and you want to just do all of that going up. You would take some kind of pretty big sections, so you don't want to take really small. And just kind of alternate. So if you did this piece in the front, colored that, then you're going to take that off and go behind that piece and maybe just do this piece here. Basically, you're just going to do some pieces that kind of highlight the top of the hair here on the sides, and then kind of go a little bit more, taking big sections, and then again highlight this front piece here. I'm going to take this piece here just because I want that piece to look fresh. You're not going to go into the back of the hair and do any of that because you're not going to see any of that. So you're basically going to stay a little bit along the hairline, taking some random pieces, and on the top, so whatever lays on top. So I'm going to take this crown piece here because that's going to be laying on top, so I want that to look fresh. Let's do that. Then do maybe like one in the center like this and pull that through. You don't want to do too many. Just remember, a little bit goes a long way. And so this top piece, I'm going to take this front hairline also in the very front, and I'm going to dab that color to the ends. Again, you're just taking some random little pieces from the top of the hair, the top section of the hair, and along the hairline. Everything else, just leave it alone, but this will give it a nice little blend, and it will actually almost look highlighted because these areas will probably look a little darker, and then the rest of the color will look a little bit lighter, so creates a little bit of a highlighted effect. Again, I don't like to do this hardly ever, but if this is the only color choice that you have, this is a good alternative to doing that. Again, in the back, I'm just going to take the very top pieces and throw a couple of pieces with the color onto the ends. Just that crown area. Take this last piece up here, and I'm going to just do that corner, really, just the top corner, and run the color through. A little trick that you can do to not make the color as harsh and to lower the level of peroxide onto the ends is whatever color you had remaining after you did the root color, you can always squirt a little bit of conditioner. It could be any conditioner that you have in the shower. Just squirt a little bit in there, mix it into the color, and it will make it a little bit not as harsh. So it'll just make it easier on the hair when it's developing. All right, so you can see there's some random pieces. right? That we're gonna show, and then the rest is not. I just did a little bit of along the hairline. I did that little corner in the ear, in front of the ear, and then some couple of pieces in the top. And in the back, also I did that very top little corner, I colored, and then a couple of pieces just under that. So this hair goes all the way to the bottom of the hair, see? So you're gonna be seeing that all the way through. So none of this hair down here I would touch because that's gonna be just more damage to the hair. All right, so we've got probably another 5 minutes with this color on and we'll shampoo it off. All right, guys, we got her shampooed. And I'm gonna go ahead and blow dry her and curl her a little bit and let you see the results and the difference between one or the other. So I'll be back in a minute with the finished result. All right. Hey guys, we're back. So this is the end result. As you can see, still very natural looking on both sides. I'll tell you a little bit about each side. So this is the side that we did the tube colors, and the Demi-Permanent on the ends. So as you can see, I think it's kind of hard to see on these mannequins, but if you're here in person, you can see that this side is definitely richer. You can see it's richer, but it's still dimensional. That's what Demi-Permanent colors do. It doesn't make the hair look one solid color, which is what you never want because natural hair has a lot of different colors running through it. Also very pretty. It's a little bit deeper, but very nice. So on this side here, we did the box color, but we didn't pull it all the way to the end. What we did is when the timer was in the last 10 minutes, we ended up picking some pieces and we pulled those through. I think you can see it here. So you can see that here, that these lighter pieces, those are the ones that were not colored. And these darker pieces were the ones that were colored. So she's a little bit deeper in every pieces that we took here. So this is the piece that we left out. This is the piece that we picked up. Very pretty and dimensional. I have to say, the hair feels a little bit on the rough side, more actually on the box color side than the Demi-Permanent side and the tube color. But the results are pretty much even, I guess. I would have to say. They both did the job. Again, we stayed really close to as true to the color that we had before. So, which is the same thing you want to do. You don't want to go too dark or too light. So as long as you stay within 1 or 2 levels and always picking the lighter color when you're not sure, I think it's going to ensure you a more successful color application. So there you go again. I think it looks really great. One thing I didn't like, I have to say, about the color that we chose, the permanent ColorCharm, it had a really strong ammonia smell to it. It almost like hit me in the face when I was mixing it. So as long as you know that up ahead, just be careful not to put it too close to your face. And you know, that brings me to the point of every time that we don't buy a professional color, I think in order for them to be, 1, cheaper, and 2, be able to cover gray better, or not even better, but just cover gray with the less expensive colors that they put in, they make up with it with ammonia. So they actually use the ammonia as the driver to the color. So because they have such high contents of ammonia, it drives the color in more, but at the same time, it dries it out. Like, you'll probably notice in 2 or 3 applications that your hair texture will not be the same. I almost guarantee it. But this is definitely something to get you through. So instead of saying, no, you can't color your hair, wait for us, I totally understand in the sense that we look at ourselves in the mirror and we want to feel great about ourselves, even if we're not going outside. But just looking at ourselves and knowing that we look good makes us feel good. So this is just a little bit of me helping you guys out till you can get to your stylist, and you looking good in between. A lot of people often tell me if I'm afraid that if my clients are gonna go and start doing their color from now on. And the truth of the matter is, I think this actually makes them more loyal to me because I'm giving them an option in times where we can't go into the salon and get our hair done. So I think in the long run, they're more loyal to me, and B, I'm not even worried about them doing that, because in the long run, if they do end up going with the box color, they will eventually know after at least a couple of applications that their hair texture is not going to feel the same, and it's going to start to feel really dry. But definitely it serves its purpose for these times that we are in now. I hope you did enjoy the video. It is a little bit long, but I felt that I needed to make it long in order for you to understand why it is that I'm making this video. And so hope your color turns out great. Again, I'm gonna leave in the comments below a link to everything that I've used today, a link to all the colors, and that way you'll be able to do all of this at home. And wish you the best of luck. And again, thanks again. And if you haven't done so already, please like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't done so. It's been a pleasure, and I hope you guys enjoy your weekend, and hopefully we'll be out of this mess real soon. Thank you. Have a good one. Thanks. Bye.